Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith the Black channel here at Ticker Talker, and it is vaccine part two. All sorts of fun going on here again. So let's take a look. So when you get the SPY here, and SPY gaps up and does nothing right here. So there's a couple things you want to look for in this environment. So we know that we are bright green in the month here in the lower middle and going into new highs or close to it. We also knew that we started off the week here, we were going to be already right in the middle of last week. So we got our gap up, but not strong enough to take out last week's highs. So there's two things you want to look for on a Monday like this in this environment. You want to look for anybody taking out Friday's lows, because those guys who were long got what they wanted. Market gaps up, right? Good news. But they get stopped out on the way down, so those guys are in trouble. You also want to try and make sure that you're not still an inside week, right here. So for SPY, doing that. If you go to the diamonds, Diamond's a little better as the Dow Jones goes to new highs. And so Dow Jones holding, but you can see now these tight ranges on the 60 right here in the lower left, right? And you'll see QQQ here goes up, and then on the 60 comes back down into this. So the interesting part about the Qs here is you see this is an outside bar and you're back into that. That's a broadening formation. So right now you had your reversal, and so we want to see if this continues to drop back in, because here's the inside day that we had on Friday in QQQ, right? But if you look at the weekly, we're nowhere near taking out either side of that. That's something I'd want to know about, and you can expect reversals back and forth in that. So we'll see how we finish off today in the Qs, because we either go RevStrat back down here tomorrow or try and continue the wall of worry and come up in here. So obviously the Moderna news. So you can look at that and you can see just kind of like the Pfizer, it goes up and does nothing. And then now inside on the 60. So we want to see either side of this 60 if they want to start bringing some of this stuff in. We're still losing the Qs here. Remember, we always watch the bottom of the hour. It's a new 60 to see if they're going to continue or reverse. Right now, still inside, but we want to get closer to that continuation down there. In other Wuhan news, CBAT, CBAT is up. No, it has nothing to do with it. But there's a little guy with a run. You got an inside 60 right here. We saw some strength early on. Like I said, something starting to fade in the transports. Here, now going inside on the 60, so potential reversal back down. Trying to get out of that weak. Transports, you can see that. Closer to that, that's good. And you'll see stuff like FedEx. FedEx going out and taking out last week's highs. Now, not totally rocking here as yet, but for the week. But it's a Monday, and now you stall out here like a lot of things. Watching these broader averages to see if they firm up or not. So FedEx, you had Norfolk Southern. Also coming up, and here's one of the things we look for on the monthly. Here, the two up, the down, boom, still good. And then here's your reversal on the weekly, right here. Has not reversed against that on the weekly, and then here was another reversal on the daily. Just took out the previous high, upper left, previous low, and then boom, off to the races and still good. Now just kind of stalling out like a bunch of things we'll see. We also had the energy and slight gap up in crude, but still inside weak. But as I said in the weekend video, OIH here, you just got to wait for those signals, and you can see this monthly. I took out the previous month's lows, now coming back. That's a 2-2 reversal on the monthly OIH. If you go to XLE, you'll see the same XOP here. And so you can just go down here. You can see XOP just gaps and sits, and that's a problem. So potential RevStrat back in, and that's going to be a problem for all these tight ranger stuff. So, I mean, you can go to the big boys and go see what your EOG. Still good on that month, just kind of stalling out. As you can see, it did go inside 60 to the upside. So anything that can stay strong like that certainly gets our attention. If we go to SMH, and SMH came firing out of the gate, still inside weak, but a little bit closer to taking that out. And you can look at stuff, that is taking last week's highs out, like MU, now inside on the 60, stalling out a tad. If we go to Plug, still trying to go bright green monther, and green on the day. He's got a little bit of exhaustion risk, and so you can see the inside 60 here was a continuation. Still keeping an eye on these futures to see if we're going to keep losing these things the way we did last Monday, if you recall that one. ECL here. So still an inside week, so you're aware of that, but you do have your signals on the monthly here. The two up, two down, boom, and you've got your bring them in inside day and back up through previous range. So we'll see like a lot of 60s stalling out just a tad. If we go to Dish from the weekend vid here, the last 2 weekend vids, I think, well, let's see, 2 weeks ago, but here, the two down in the month and then reversal here above 29.60. So far, that's still good. And now you've got an inside 60 here to see if that's going to continue or reverse. Taking out last week's highs, coming back to a previous range. Dish. If we go to UPWK, the Upwork, and Upwork, see this here, taking out last week's highs. You got some exhaustion risk because you're going into the highs, but you get a nice bright green here on the month. Starting off with a nice green day here, but potential rev strat here just pokes down a little bit. So once again, a lot of these things got to set up again. You've got, that's going to go the other side. Some of the pandemics, obviously Boeing trying to come up, helping the Dow Jones, the cruise ships. We've got airlines coming up a little bit. You can see RCL still an inside week. That's something you'd be aware of. How's our airlines? Let me take a look here. You got EOG still going to the highs as I speak. And let's take a look here. Well, American is trying to come out of the ashes. We'll see. And Play was coming out of the ashes here too. So we'll see how that goes. Now just Doji. You got ACN. And ACN, here you can see this inside day to the upside, coming back to previous ranges, getting closer to taking out that week. And once again, we look for this pattern to the outside, inside month to go take this out here, 247.82. We're looking to take that out so long as these stay green over in here. Yes, so rallying the chickens. TSN, Tyson Chickens, comes up, and that takes out last month's highs on an outside month. So that tells us to look at SAFM here. More chickens. Now starting to come in off the 60. We'll see if that sets up again. PPC. More chickens inside month. And once again, that outside month, inside month, and up. Right? We're looking to take that out at least, and it did it. Now we'll see if they want to keep this chicken rally going. Market is kind of lethargic here. We'll see what comes of that. Also had a little guy Can coming up here, now backing off. We'll see inside 60 there. You've got Walmart coming up with earnings coming out tomorrow in their face off the inside month into new highs, feeling pretty good about itself. LI, still an inside day, but one of the things you look for is a big enough range, right? That's a big daily range, so we'll see if anything comes of that. Fossil. And Fossil, remember, had a gap a few days ago. Now this is what we look for. Shooter, hammer, 2 up, 2 down, bam, back into the highs. These become an outside bar of all that, still going. Also the 2-2-monther, and used to be a lot higher. So we'll see there. If we go to NTAP, inside on the 60 and trying to poke up on this thing, and once again taking out last month's and last week's highs, something we'd want to know about. Watching these broader average stall out. And Mattel, Christmas is coming, and Mattel inside day, right? Still an inside week, but getting closer to taking that out, right? And then coming back through this range here, right? So we'll see. So some people be like, this is resistance. Nope, there's stops there. Let's go take them out. Why not? On the downside, you look for things that, like I said, taking out yesterday's lows or just doing nothing. So you have IBB here, potential outside day to the downside with Labu. Here, potential outside day back to the downside, having some problems. And you see this Labu on the 60-minute. Went inside after an outside. Now shooter. So for the next hour, Labu below the 72.84 can have some problems. Still watching this lethargic market. But you've got NVAX. You got the vaccine? Nope. That's not us. And you can see how that opened, didn't gap, and then took out Friday's lows. That's exactly what you want to look for on a day like today. Here, coming back, ripping down below this, was below 84.60. I'm sorry, below 91.40. All right, and then boom, there you go, 85.67. Very nice. BNTX. And BNTX, the daily 2 down, 2 up, and then bam, wailed on this thing right away. Right, and here's your weekly, taking out last week's lows. Didn't quite make the inside 60. We get a 30 on this baby. Sideways 60. These two were inside. So let's say that you're watching this and you tried to short it here and it pokes back up on you, just get out. Now on the rebreak here, when it rebreaks these two, you can go after that and send it on its way. So we'll see if it did anything on the 15er. Here you go. the 2 down, the 2 up, boom, right back in, and then you have an inside 15 here. So we'll see how that goes. If we go to NVCR, and NVCR, once again, pokes up a little bit on the daily, but as soon as it goes red here, right, looking for an outside day to take this stuff out. What you got might have been a little quick on there, but you can see this here in the daily. It goes up and then boom. You see, notice this broadening formation here, the higher highs and then the lower lows, and then the 312. Outside, inside 60, and down. Now we'll see if that can continue. Still an inside week, so you can get a little bit more steam on this thing, because if you get this outside week, pokes up, if you can get all the way back down and take this out for the rest of the week, I'd be wanting to know about 116.67 right there. If we go to Sage, and Sage, taking out last week's lows, inside week to the downside here. So for the rest of the week on this thing here, you'll see 76.47. Below that, that's what I want to know about all this week. And then I want to watch this monthly to see if we can turn this red. And that opening was 73.82. So getting close to all that kind of stuff right now inside on the 60. All right, Q's firming up a tad here, so we'll see. You got Spotify. And Spotify here, taking out Friday's lows. Not totally getting pounded, but that's something I want to know about, because it's also here. If you can go to this weekly below here, 248.02. And then, if you can get it to re-break the month here. So we'll keep an eye on Spotify. If we go to School of Rock, SRRK. And inside week to the downside, right here, right? Didn't gap. It took it out here below 41.03, trading 37.55. Not bad. And it's also now changing that month back red. So it certainly has my attention here. Now, you can see there's some exhaustion because you already took these guys out. Right? But when you got full time frame continuity, the downside, and a signal on the weekly, good things tend to happen. Or in this case, bad things tend to happen. If we go to Tandem, and Tandem, going after last week's lows, it's below last month's lows. That's a T2 reversal on the month. Right? That's something I'd want to know about. And then right here, pokes up, and then boom, as soon as it takes out these lows, we're going to look to take this out here on the daily. So that was below 98.37. You're handily below that, so we'll see if that sets up again. 30 for you. There you go. You're inside 60. Once again, the 2 inside 30s, and then boom, puke. If we go to ILMN. ILMN here, you can see taking out Friday's lows, a little tight range, was an inside day, RevStrat. 1, 2, 2 to come back through here, which it did. And now you're going to see if it can work this weekly to the downside here, below 299.19. And if you can, then you're going to go after this month, turn it red at 298, and then you'd give a further signal here at 288.01. If we go to Repligen, RGEN. RGEN, inside day to the downside. Now, handily an inside week and a green on the month, we're aware of that. But you did get the slight higher high, the inside, 212 reversal back down. Now, inside on the 30, we'll see if anything comes of that. Market firming up a tad here now, so not completely rolling over. As I said before, though, there's pockets of strength. Watching to see if the energy stay strong, if the SMH firms back up, and see if this weakness continues in some of this bio and a little bit of retail. You got Deckers here, taking out yesterday's lows and going after last week and red on the month, right? That's something I'd want to know about when the market starts coming in. However, SPY doing this, and it's a Monday, no hurry, right? There's no hurry. You're still inside on the week in the SPY. So as far as a major futures move, you got your gap and sit, that's it. But, we want to see every 60 how we do on here, right? So now you can see it's starting to firm up in green, so we can look at some of that strength. But it's a Monday, no hurry. As always, my videos here at Smith the Black Channel are all free, so register here and just check it out. I make the weekend video, then the nightly video, the power hours tonight for coaching, and of course, the Strat Attack on Tuesday nights. That's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, the Smith the Black Channel here. Take your time with Strat Time Report.